Hello, welcome back to Foos Entertainment for my review of 2015's Spectre, which is part of the 4K James Bond collection featuring Daniel Craig. We talk about the plot of the film, the world's opinion of the film, my opinion of the film, talk about the audio and video quality of the release, and end it with a ranking. A cryptic message from the past leads James Bond to Mexico City in Rome, where he meets the beautiful widow of an infamous criminal. After infiltrating a secret meeting, 007 uncovers the existence of the sinister organization known as Spectre. Needing the help of the daughter of an old nemesis, he embarks on a mission to find her. As Bond ventures towards the heart of Spectre, he discovers a chilling connection between himself and the enemy he seeks. Alright, Spectre. The world's opinion of Spectre. Believe it or not, if people are very divisive about which Daniel Craig James Bond movie they hate the most on this. A lot of people say they hate Quantum of Solace. A lot of people say they hate Spectre. And here I am, all the way over here, not understanding any of it. Now, before I go on my opinion, I'll tell you what I agree on, what they're talking about, which is what I don't like. They don't like how they give you a underwhelmingness when it comes to Blofeld in the film. I mean, you have Oscar winner Christoph Waltz playing Blofeld, and this is the return of Spectre. Ever since, really, the Connery era. And it wasn't executed when it comes to Blofeld all that well. Another thing that people also bring up that I 100% am going to back as well is the fact that they could not create an entirely brand new score for this movie. There's a couple of pieces of music in this movie that are original to the film, but almost every single bit of the sound, the music of the movie Spectre is recycled music from Skyfall, and that annoyed me the first time I watched this movie on the big screen, and it's annoyed me ever since. People say that in a lot of ways Daniel Craig didn't look like he was enjoying playing the character of James Bond that much in this movie like he did in the previous three, and of course the final one he made after this. And I do agree with that as well. But going into my opinion, I do not agree with the rest of the world that this is a bad James Bond movie. I think it's a great James Bond film. And in a lot of ways, it's the first of the 5 Daniel Craig James Bond movies that feels like a real James Bond movie that we're used to with the first 20 films. I mean, it goes ahead and has like a checklist that's just marking it all off. James Bond car with gadgets. Check. Multiple Bond women in the movie. Check. Super villain. Check. Formidable henchman. Check. Lots of action set pieces and scenes. Check. Villain lair. Check. Oh yeah. Gun barrel sequence at the beginning of the film. Check. Credible stunts. Check. Going to... Bottom line is, everything is checked off in this movie. Everything. And it really because of that, it kind of makes it feel like an old school James Bond movie with Daniel Craig in it versus a James Bond movie that's separated so much the other direction from the traditional James Bond film. This kind of brings it back to traditional James Bond. I mean, everything's much, much bigger in this movie. Now, where I think it falls short of Skyfall is that you just had a lot more going on with the process and the making of Skyfall that made it a better movie. But Spectre, in my opinion, if you would have given it a 100% original score to the film and not recycle stuff from the previous film, if you didn't make a joke out of the villain Blofeld, played by one of the best villain actors in the entire world, and maybe you went ahead and just improved a little thing here and there, this might be one of the best James Bond films ever made. But unfortunately, it does have all those little issues. But I will still defend this movie because I really, really enjoy Spectre. I enjoy Spectre a lot. It's a great James Bond film. Now the audio and video. The 4K Dolby Vision plus HDR10 on this one is actually very good. Is it as good as Skyfall's? No. Is it good as No Time to Die? Definitely not. But it's very, very, very good. Very good. It has more of a filmic look instead of being like a digital look like Skyfall had. And No Time to Die also has a more of a digital look over Spectre does. So there's that. But overall, very, very good quality. But like I said, in order to get that, you have to have compatible Dolby Vision equipment to get it. HDR10 alone will not give you the brilliant picture that this film is trying to give you. This is the first James Bond movie, in any of them, to actually have 7.1 audio. And boy, did they utilize it. The 7.1 DTS HD Master audio sound presentation on this movie is incredible. Now, the first real sound system I actually watched this movie on had 7 speakers in a subwoofer, and I watched it traditionally in that very, very way. And I can tell you right now, they really knew what they were doing when they made the 7.1 sound presentation, because you literally had perfect stereos channels, you had a perfect center channel, you had perfect mid-room surrounds in perfect rear room surrounds, and things were moving around and perfect object-based sound, and you could actually feel that all of it was different from one channel to another. It wasn't all just trying to be all blended together, which tends to happen a lot of the times. This one doesn't really have that problem. So rock solid reference 7.1 audio is what I would call this movie. A ranking. I give this movie 3 stars. So I think it's a great movie. I don't think it's an almost perfect movie. I will defend this movie. I will defend it until I die, because I think this is a good and wonderful James Bond film. But it is not worthy of being almost perfect, and is not worthy of being perfect. So I'm just going to make that this one is a great movie ranking of 3 out of 4 stars, which is pretty good. And that's my views on Spectre from 2015, and I will see you guys on my last James Bond review. Until then.